So today, this video will do reaction to my favorite YouTuber JTVideos. Yes. So today we're reaction his Rebooted MCU PS5, which is part 2 is called Fantastic Four. Arrive on the next Humans. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that reaction. So before we start the video, I want to talk about yesterday, part 1. I'm very apologize for recording very late and then post on YouTube very late, like 11 o'clock, but so I'm sure I'm gonna check my YouTube deals within my last video and make sure it was yesterday was set to January. Yeah, I mean, sorry, set to March, yes, so, set to March, yes. So right now, as no, 7th of March, which, to 15, it was 14-15, yeah. Yeah, so, I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four and Inhumans. So, last night I watched Captain Marvel's Taking Invasion. That was one of the last night on new videos. Yes, but I it was very late when I was came home and I was eating my dinner and yeah, I just realized I forgot to record and then I just decided to have fun in the bath. And after the bath, just like clipping my meditation time and you know, and that was the reason that happened. So, after, so let's reaction.
This year is all about self-care. So I visited Boots for a free health MOT. The pharmacist checked my...
Hello everyone and welcome back to Rebooted MCU. Today we are here with the Rebooted MCU Phase 5 Part 2. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to join the Discord server in the link below. And make sure to follow the Instagram page.
As I mentioned, I was trying to get Discord. He didn't like me.
Well, on top of all of that, make sure to go check.
But I'm okay, I just want to check out his community post about update his with his MCU. He's still working on PS7, but he's finished, but his PS7 finished tomorrow, but part is a part 8. PS8 was coming soon, yeah.
Out the first episode of Rebooted MCU Side Projects that was posted last week, and subscribe to the channel, which is linked in the description below. Now, without any further ado, we have a big episode today, so let's go ahead and jump right in. The second project of Rebooted MCU Phase 5 is Fantastic Four: Arrival of the Inhumans.
Yes, cool.
The movie opens up on a flashback to the very first Fantastic Four movie, where we see the team in space as their ship gets hit by cosmic rays, except we are viewing it from the perspective of the unseen fifth member aboard the ship that fateful day, Victor Von Doom, played by Cillian Murphy, who is sitting in the electrical room of the ship screaming, the cosmic rays cutting his face and burning as they bombard the ship. We slowly cut to present day, where we see his face hidden behind a metallic mask as he is sitting in some sort of chamber.
Wow.
We watch as a robot enters the chamber and says, "Dr. Doom, Monarch of Latveria, your meeting draws near." "Thank you, Doombot 051962. Does Doom require any further assistance with anything?" "No. Just inform the man from the moon that I will jump on our call momentarily. I can feel my victory coming. It draws near. All of this time spent hiding, preparing. It will all be worth it soon." As Doom gets up to exit his throne and walk away, the title card appears. We cut to downtown New York as we see police officers chasing after someone with their sirens blaring, as suddenly an unknown man hits their vehicle with an adhesive that stops the vehicle in its tracks. As the police exit the vehicle in an attempt to chase the man on foot, we watch as two red streaks flash by as we see Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland, and Johnny Storm, a.k.a. the Human Torch, played by Andrew Garfield, chasing after the man. So,
I like that with Tom Holland together first. Fantastic, cool.
What did you say this guy's villain name is again? Well, he has two. The first one is Trapster. The second one is Paste Pot Pete. No way. Regardless of what crimes this guy has committed, I'm pretty sure both of his villain names are the real crimes against humanity. You're not wrong. But hey, look, he's slowing down. Now's our chance. Let's get him. We then watch as Spider-Man and Human Torch engage in a quick battle with Peter Petruski, a.k.a. the Trapster, played by Joe Thomas, as the two quickly combine their strength to overpower him before he can attempt to shoot his multi-polymer adhesive at them. As Trapster is knocked out, Spider-Man and Human Torch high-five. Well, I'm sorry our lunch got interrupted by this guy, but I'm open for next week if you want to reschedule. Yeah, that should work great. Hey, you're sure you're doing okay with everything, right, man? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Totally fine. Everything's cool. Anyways, I'm gonna go bring Mr. Bad Villain Name here to the police. I'll see you later. As we watch Peter swing away, Johnny has a flashback to losing Reed, Sue, and Ben during the blip before he shakes the thought off and says, "Flame on!" As we watch Johnny fly towards the Baxter building, This Is the Day by The begins to play. As Johnny arrives back at the Baxter building, he walks inside as we see Ben Grimm, a.k.a. The Thing, voiced by Jason Sudeikis, sitting at a table with an unknown woman. Johnny smiles. Hey, Ben. Hey, Alicia. How are you guys doing today? The woman is revealed to be Ben Grimm's girlfriend, Alicia Masters, played by Naomi Harris, who smiles. Johnny, is that you? I'd say you look nice, but considering I can't see you for myself, it's kind of impossible for me to gauge. It's all good. It's great to see you. Do you guys have any plans today? I'd love to hang out. Come on, Johnny. We're trying to have some couple time. Besides, Reed and Susie invited us to go out for a date night tonight, so we're having some Belisha time before that happens. Okay, first off, Belisha? And second, date night? Yeah, it's our couple's name, a combination of Ben and Alicia. And yeah, kid, we're going out to eat. Before Ben can finish, we watch Johnny storm off upstairs. We watch as he enters a room where we see Sue Storm, played by Amanda Peet, doing her hair. She looks up and says, Johnny, good to see you. How's Peter doing? I mean, he's been better, but that's besides the point. You guys are going out without me? Yeah, sorry, Johnny. It's date night. It's nothing personal. It would be weird to have you there without a date. Sue, I'm not a little kid anymore. I know you have seen how much I've matured since you came back from being dusted. As Johnny says this, you watch as a door opens up as Reed Richards, played by Keanu Reeves, walks into the room. Johnny looks to him and says, Reed, just the man I'm looking for. Please let me come with you guys to dinner. It'd be nice to catch up and, actually get to spend some time with you guys. Sorry, Johnny. Sue booked a reservation for 4 at Carmine's, which is in about 20 minutes, and we need to head out as soon as possible. Once I can find some time outside of the lab, I'd love to catch up. Anyway, Sue, come on, we gotta go. As Sue and Reed exit the room, we watch as Johnny sighs as he walks to his room. We cut to about an hour later as we see Johnny walking alone in a park. He is walking slowly as he talks to himself. If only they knew how much I miss them. How painful it was for me to have missed so much time with them all. As Johnny continues walking, we suddenly start to hear barking coming from across the park. Johnny looks up and spots a giant bulldog roaming around the park on his own. What the heck? As he quickly runs over to the dog, he says, Come here, boy. Where's your owner? And what the heck kind of bulldog are you? Are you like a Mastiff mix or something? Suddenly, the dog looks up and begins to run away as Johnny screams, Hey, come back here, Fido. We need to find your owner. Johnny chases after the dog as suddenly the dog ducks into an abandoned house. Johnny bursts in as he sees a girl who looks at the dog and says, Lockjaw, where did you wander off to? Hopefully you didn't go too far. We need to head back soon. The girl looks up and screams as she sees Johnny and proceeds to shoot an ice blast at him. Who are you? What are you doing here? Whoa, lady. I was just trying to make sure that dog got back to its owners. What the heck are you? Some kind of mutant? So, you were trying to protect Lockjaw? Yeah, he was wandering around alone, but I'm confused. I have no idea what's going on. You can shoot ice from your hand and your dog is almost the size of an elephant or something like that. Not just ice, a lot of elements, and this is Lockjaw. He's a member of the royal family. And my name is Crystal. The girl is revealed to be Crystal, played by Millie Bobby Brown. Johnny chuckles nervously. Well, my name is Johnny Storm, but I'm sorry, a member of the royal family? Yes, of the House of Aegon. My brother-in-law Maximus told me that Earth is a beautiful place to visit when I'm feeling lonely. We're really not supposed to be here, but...
This is Wix Studio, built to meet any brief. When the brief calls for complex structure, let AI map your site art.
But sometimes it just feels like my sister spends all her time worrying about where I am and what I'm doing. I can find an escape here. And it's a fun time with Lockjaw. He loves roaming around and exploring the world. Well, at least your sister wants to spend time with you. I didn't see my sister or my two best friends for years. And now they act like I can't even hang out with them. It stinks. You are a kind human. I'd like to get to know you more. Would you like to accompany me home? Well, you can call me Johnny Storm. And a beautiful girl asked me to accompany her back to her place? Can't say no to that. So, I'm guessing you live in like some royal palace or something with the other members of the royal family? Let me guess, it's like around the corner or something like that? Come here, Lockjaw will take us there. Johnny walks up to Crystal as they both touch Lockjaw. Lockjaw begins to glow, and with a flash of light, the three are gone. We cut to an unknown location where we see Lockjaw, Crystal, and Johnny arrive. As Johnny checks his surroundings, he screams, "Where the heck am I? What is your dog? What are you? And what, did you drug me or something?" "No, silly. This is Adelan, our home." "Our? What do you mean, our?" "The Inhumans. I'm a member of the Inhuman royal family, as I said, and this is our home, Adelan." Inhuman. Got it. And people thought mutants were crazy sounding, but okay. So let's just say, hypothetically, I accept the fact that we're in some random place called Adelan, and it's home of this group called the Inhumans. Where exactly is Adelan? The moon, of course. You're a very funny human, Johnny Storm. Crystal walks Johnny to the window of the building they are in and shows him the Earth, as Johnny screams once again. "Is everything okay in there, Crystal?" screams an unknown voice. "Yes, Gorgon, I promise." Gorgon? Like the snake-haired ladies? Suddenly we watch as the door to the room swings open as Gorgon, played by Rupert Grint, enters and yells, "Crystal, who is this? We have an intruder in our midst." "No, Gorgon, this is Johnny Storm from Earth." "An Earthling? All non-Inhumans are not allowed on Adelan. You know the rules." "Johnny, we need to go." As Crystal and Johnny attempt to run away, Gorgon stomps his hooves on the ground, which causes a vibration so intense that it knocks over both Crystal and Johnny. Gorgon walks over and picks them up. "King Blackbolt must be informed of this, Crystal." "Haha, King Blackbolt? Trust me, I'll talk with him and clear this all up. It's just a big misunderstanding." "Fool, you will surely perish if you engage King Blackbolt in discussion. Pray he has mercy." Johnny gulps as Gorgon carries the duo out of the room. Back on Earth, we see Sue Storm sitting on a couch attempting to call Johnny. She sighs as the call goes to voicemail. Where the heck could he have gone? This isn't like him. He hasn't attempted to run away since he was younger. "I bet he's just playing a prank on us. He has to be." "I would hate to think that I was mean to the kid and he decided to run away because of this." "Benjamin, don't beat yourself up over this. Johnny probably just needed to go grab some fresh air." "Yes, but this is absurd. I really hope Johnny didn't feel like we didn't want him around." "Reed, don't say that. I'm sure Johnny knows that we just wanted a date night to ourselves." "You know, now that I think about it, we have been excluding him from a lot lately. We have been doing so much together and only having meetings as a team once a month. Maybe he really does feel left out." You know, I'm going to have to track his location using the tracking device implemented in all of our suits. I know Johnny's going to feel like this is an invasion of his privacy, but I have to do it. We have to make sure he's okay. We watch as Reed takes out a device, and after a few seconds of clicking, he steps back. Sue, it says that Johnny is on the moon. You must be joking, Reed, and this is not the time for it. I'm really worried. Sue, you could see for yourself. I'm not one to joke about my inventions. Look at it. Sue takes a look at the device and gasps. Oh my gosh. You aren't lying. He's on the moon. Well, would it really shock you if someone came and brought Johnny to space? I mean, he did explore the galaxy with Nebula for a bit after all. Yeah, but it doesn't explain why he isn't answering. We programmed all of our phones with intergalactic capabilities. Reed, I think we need to go to the moon. Ben's right. After all we've seen, someone capturing Johnny and taking him to the moon isn't the wildest thing we've ever heard of. Speak for yourself. I am lost. Don't worry about it, babe. Anyways, Stretch, how are we going to get to the moon? Well, I just finished repurposing the Fantastic Car for short-distance space travel, which should allow us to use it to travel up to the moon safely. And we can reuse our vibranium suits from our last trip to space, so we have everything in place to go. Should have never doubted you, Stretch. All I hope is that there are some monsters or evildoers that I can tango with up there. It's been a bit since the last clobbering time. Ben, come on. We shouldn't be looking to pick a fight. This is about rescuing Johnny. Sue's right, Ben. But let's cut the chit-chat. Suit up, everyone. We head out in 5 minutes. We cut back to Adelan as we see Gorgon carrying Johnny and Crystal inside the Inhuman Royal Palace, where Johnny looks to Crystal and says, Hey, so this Black Bolt guy, is he really as scary as this guy says? You question my words, boy. You best watch your tongue. If you fall out of favor with King Black Bolt, you will be gone in a matter of seconds. Gorgon does not lie, Johnny. Please show the king and queen your utmost respect. The consequences of disrespect will be fatal. Johnny gulps as Gorgon drags the two into the royal palace. They pass a small man who says, Gorgon, what are you doing with Crystal, and who might this be? No need to worry, Maximus. This is an intruder who Crystal brought to Adelan. All be taken care of soon. The man is revealed to be Maximus the Mad, played by Iwan Rion, who nods. Very well then, I'll be returning to my quarters. Tell my brother to contact me if I am needed. As Maximus heads off, Gorgon enters the royal chamber where we see two figures sitting on thrones. King Blackagar Boltagon and Queen Medusa Amaquilin Boltagon. I come with an outsider who has breached the sacred walls of Adelan. The camera pans up as we see Queen Medusa, played by Amy Adams, and King Blackbolt, played by John Hamm, sitting on the royal throne.
Maryland, the perfect combination of generous chocolate chips and a crunchy, crumbly texture. Ooh, lovely. Maryland, good to the last crumb.
Thank you, Gorgon. But why is my little sister caught up in all of this? I went to Earth. I thought it would be nice to get a change of scenery for once, and when I did, Lockjaw got lost and Johnny here attempted to bring him back to me. He's been a good guy and has done nothing but attempted to help. We watch as Blackbolt makes hand motions to Medusa. King Blackbolt says that while he appreciates the humans' attempts to protect a member of the Inhuman royal family, that does not exclude the fact that the most important rule of Inhumans has been broken. No outsiders of any kind are allowed in Adelan. With all due respect, Your Highness, I don't mean any harm. I just wanted to make sure Lockjaw and Crystal were okay. How dare you speak to King Blackbolt without his express permission? Gorgon, I'd like for you to throw the Earthling in the holding cell for the time being, until Blackbolt can decide how we can best handle him. Crystal, you are grounded. But Medusa, no talking back, Crystal. This shows once again why you aren't mature enough to be trusted. As Gorgon drags the two away, alarms suddenly sound in the royal palace as Medusa screams. It appears that someone has attempted to breach the energy barrier protecting Adelan. Gorgon, join Karnak and Triton in neutralizing the threat after you've locked up the boy. Gorgon nods as he continues dragging the two away. As they continue down the hall, Johnny notices Maximus talking to someone on the monitor in his room and looking at some kind of blueprints. We cut outside of Adelan as we see Reed, Sue, and Ben attempting to gain entry to Adelan. You know, Stretch, for the smartest man in the world, you sure didn't think this plan through. Ben, you've known me for years. You know that's not the case. But if my instincts tell me anything, based on the electromagnetic force given off by the energy hidden to the naked eye, we have but one force strong enough to break through and give us entry. Sue, if you can create a force field large enough to fit us three inside, we can get in there with no problem. Oh, Reed, I love you, but why even ask if I'm capable? You know I am. We then watch as Sue creates a force field large enough for the three of them to gain entry. As they do, Reed looks around and comments to the group. I'm in awe. An entire civilization created here on the moon, and yet we've never even laid an eye on it. We truly do live in a strange reality at times. Yeah, and to think, we used to think this hunk of junk was made of cheese. You three, yield to the name of King Blackbolt. The three turn to see Gorgon, Karnak, played by Louis Tan, and Triton, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Whoa, we come in peace. My name is Reed Richards. I'm the leader of the Fantastic Four, and we are merely here to recover a person by the name of Johnny Storm, and we will be on our merry way. You work with the prisoner. More outsiders. We will stop you and bring you in to King Blackbolt. Okay, tough guy. I guess it's clobbering time. Step aside. I got this. We watch as Karnak raises two fingers, waits for a minute, and leaps at the thing, causing him to fall to the ground after a single blow. Ben, but how? You fools! Karnak is the most skilled martial artist in all of Adelan. He hit your friend in his most vulnerable stress point. He'll be unable to move for a few minutes at least. Suddenly, we watch as bombs go off around Adelan as we hear people screaming. Gorgon turns to Reed. You attempted this brutal assault on the people of Adelan, didn't you? What? No, we just got here, and we mean you and your people no harm. There is no other explanation. You three are enemies of Adelan and will be punished for this attack. You best surrender now, so we can take you to be judged by King Blackbolt. Reed, we can't just let them take us like this. We have no idea what might happen. We need to stand down, Sue. If we fight, we'll ruin any chance of showing that we mean no harm. Besides, the one named Karnak knocked out Ben with a single blow. We just need to bide our time and talk with their leader. Okay, you win. We surrender. Giving up without a fight, I'm kind of sad, but it makes our lives easier. We watch as Karnak and Triton grab Reed and Sue from behind as Gorgon drags the thing to the royal palace. We see the various places around Adelan as Reed notices mine workers working in the Adelan mines. We cut to Johnny sitting in a holding cell within the royal palace, when suddenly we hear a sudden burst of wind as Crystal is teleported into the area with Lockjaw. Johnny chuckles. I thought you were grounded. Why would you risk coming to see me? You are intriguing, Johnny Storm. I've been told my entire life that humans are pathetic. They're nothing special, and we're superior to them in every way. But you've been nothing but extraordinary to me. And also, I'm not a little girl anymore. I'm tired of my sister treating me like I'm some kind of kid. I can handle myself. Hey, you say that, but I also have an older sister who still treats me like a kid sometimes. I still hate it, but, you know, I used to wish I could just run away from it when it got on my nerves. But I lost her during the blip, and I missed her so much. Miss my friends. Now they came back, and there isn't anything in the world I wouldn't give to make sure they never leave me again. I know Medusa loves me. I'm just more mature than she realizes. But maybe she feels the same way you do. I was snapped away when the blip occurred, and ever since I've been back, Medusa has been overprotective. I get it. She loves me and all, but it's exhausting. I just want to be my own person, chart my own course, and have her realize that despite me forging my own path, I'd never abandon her or my family. Sounds like we really are in the same boat, Crystal. I just wish Sue and Reed and Ben were here right now. I don't know if I'll ever see them again if Blackbolt decides I'm toast. Well, that reminds me. Did you hear those explosions? I'm sure you are the last thing on King Blackbolt's mind at the moment. Explosions? No, what happened? Apparently, some other Earthlings and some giant rock monster attacked Adelan. Medusa stopped by my room to ensure that I was okay and told me the details. Apparently, Black Bolt will be deciding what should be done shortly. Wait, Crystal. Those Earthlings are my sister Sue and my two friends Reed and Ben. There is no way they caused the explosions on Adelan. We are friends, not enemies. Trust me, Crystal. They are just like me. I believe you, Johnny. But if it wasn't them, then who was it? I have a theory. But if I tell you, you might call me crazy. Tell me, Johnny. I trust you. That Maximus guy. He seems off. Trust me. I fought a groundhog dude, a merman, and a giant bug. He gives off the same quiet, evil genius vibe. You're accusing a member of the Inhuman royal family of acts of terror against our own people? Crystal, please. I know my family didn't do this. As Johnny stares into Crystal's eyes, she nods and walks over to the lockjaw as the two transport away in a flashing light. We cut inside Maximus' room as we see Maximus standing in front of a computer screen talking with Dr. Doom. We watch as Crystal and Lockjaw teleport outside the door and listen in. Maximus, my dear partner, is everything going smoothly? Yes, the first set of bombs have been detonated and the dirty bomb is ready for my big announcement in a few hours. Good. And the Earthlings I warned you about? Have they located Adelan? Yes, I coaxed my cousin into visiting and, like you mentioned, the four have made their appearance. My brother and the other members of the Inhuman royal family were quick to allow their biases to lead them to believe that it was the humans that set off the bombs. Everything is going to plan. But I must ask, what makes these humans so valuable to you? I gained the title of king out of our deal, and you simply are toying with 4 humans. You question my motives, Maximus. You think you are better than Doom? Did you just speak in third person? Don't concern yourself with my vocabulary, Maximus. I will use the Doom ship to arrive at Adelan shortly. Just make sure Richards is captive and alive. I will finally show him Doom is superior.
At Thornton's, we've been lovingly crafting chocolates since 1911.
As Maximus hangs up and heads out of the room, he bumps into Crystal. Maximus asks her what she's doing outside his quarters. She laughs. Sorry, cousin. I came to remind you that our king will be judging the Earthlings in a few minutes. Maximus nods as he heads towards the throne room, as we watch Crystal run inside his room and begin digging through the files on his monitor. We cut to Reed, Sue, and Ben, who has since regained consciousness, being dragged into the Inhuman Royal Hall. Now remember, Ben, stay calm when we interact with the king and queen. We have no idea what power they possess. Oh, come on, Stretch. When have I ever been known to not act cool under stress? Ben, I'm serious. You can't fool around and act out of line this time. No clobbering time antics. Silence, fools! We are entering the quarters of King Blackbolt. As the group enters the throne room, we see Maximus standing next to the throne as Triton says, Behold, King Blackagar Boltagon and Queen Medusa Amaquilin Boltagon. The other outsiders have been brought to be judged. While I strongly question how you managed to penetrate our energy barrier, the fact of the matter is, unlike the other intruder who breached our sacred barrier today, you have caused violence that has destroyed parts of Adelan. With all due respect, Your Majesty. All right, Your Highness, listen here. My pal Johnny somehow ended up on the moon while we was out eating dinner. And then we end up here and we're getting accused for some random explosions. You got some nerve, and let me tell you, before I start clobbering things, you better tell us where Johnny is and let us go. How did I know this was gonna happen? Did you hear that, brother? He threatens us with violence. You cannot allow more Inhumans to get injured through the actions of outsiders. We are the superior species, and the disrespect shown to the royal family by these worms has crossed the line. I feel the punishment, while harsh, should be death. It will send a clear message to the people of Adelan that we will not tolerate those who attempt to undermine our authority. I believe we should schedule a public execution performed by the king himself. As for now, they should be placed in the high-security prison as they await their execution. Black Bolt nods as we watch Gorgon and the others prepare to haul the 3 away. Reed begins to plead. Listen, I apologize for my friend's outburst, but I promise you, Your Majesty, we had nothing to do with the explosions earlier today. They occurred as we arrived on the moon. We only came here to find our friend. Silence, fool. Black Bolt has made his decision, and his word is final. Wait! Suddenly, he watches Crystal teleports into the chamber with Lockjaw. Crystal! You were supposed to be in your room. What are you doing here? Sister. Black Bolt. These three are innocent. Maximus was the one behind the explosions. I have proof. Crystal runs up to Black Bolt and Medusa and hands him the document she found and confiscated from Maximus's computer. Maximus chuckles. Crystal, my dear cousin, you decided the best course of action was to fight being grounded with facing treason against a fellow member of the royal family? This is an incredibly idiotic strategy, if you ask me. Maximus, Crystal's right. You planned the bombings and you're planning more? As everyone looks towards Maximus in anger, he sighs. Brother, cousins, members of the royal family, I will keep my explanation simple. I'm tired of being in the shadows and reclaim my birthright today. Maximus pulls the device out of his pocket and pushes a button as a massive explosion occurs in the royal hall, causing debris to fall that separates the group, with Black Bolt, Crystal, Triton, Karnak, and Gorgon on one side, with Reed, Sue, Ben, Medusa, and Lockjaw on the other, with Maximus nowhere to be seen. As the dust clears, Crystal calls out to make sure everyone is okay, when suddenly listen to Lockjaw whimpering as Medusa runs over to him. Lockjaw! A piece of debris cut Lockjaw's leg! He's injured! My queen, we will attempt to track down Maximus. We will be back once we ensure that he will not cause any more harm to Adelan. As we watch Karnak, Gorgon, Triton, and Black Bolt run out of the only unblocked entrance in the royal hall, Crystal calls out to Lockjaw, wishing that he heal quickly. As Crystal runs off, Ben looks to Reed and Sue. Well, gang, we can find an escape route, get Johnny, and get off this hunk of junk. Ben, we have to help that poor animal. He's in pain. Reed walks over to Medusa and Lockjaw and says, Please, let me help. I'm sure I can find some way to help him. Leave us alone, human. We will not accept help from your kind. Please. You know now that I did not cause those explosions earlier. I just want to help. As Lockjaw whimpers again, Medusa sighs and nods her head.
That client review was brutal.
We're gonna be underwater for weeks.
Reed smiles. Great. If you don't mind, is there any way I can access information about your species? I can probably make a bandage out of some raw materials nearby, but I want to make sure I won't do anything to cause adverse effects to your dog based on his unique genetic makeup. Yeah, the Inhuman Royal Library is right down this hallway. We watch as the group runs down the hallway and into the Royal Library. We watch as Reed begins digging through various books outlining the history of the Inhumans. We find out that the Inhumans were created by the Kree at the very start of the Kree-Skrull War in an attempt to create the perfect soldier. To do this, the Kree genetically modified humans and gave them an inhuman gene, an unperfected strand of DNA that gave those who possessed the gene the potential to have superhuman abilities if exposed to the Terrigen Mist, a mist forged from Terrigen crystals that, when it interacts with the inhuman gene, mutates to grant its user new abilities. The Kree discovered, however, that this process was ineffective, with some Inhumans gaining extraordinary abilities that granted them unimaginable powers, while others gained minimal abilities that served no real purpose to the Kree. The Kree found those who gained the extraordinary abilities to be too difficult to control, and those with minimal abilities to be worthless to them, so they returned the Inhumans to Earth. Upon the Inhumans' return to Earth, it was discovered that the diseases and germs of man were lethal to the Inhumans if exposed for an extended period of time. So the Inhumans moved to the moon and started their own home of Adelan, protected by a trillion-voltage barrier to keep out intruders and any potential germs and diseases caused by man. As Reed shares his findings with the group, he appears to be visibly excited when Ben comments about how much of a nerd he is. So, what does this mean? Can you help Lockjaw? Yes, actually, all you need is typical bandage and liquid to ensure the injury does not become infected. Medusa nods as we watch the group run to gather the supplies needed to heal Lockjaw. We cut back to the holding room inside the royal palace as we see Crystal run in and unlock the cell holding Johnny. As the two embrace, Johnny asks Crystal what happens and why she's releasing him. As she attempts to respond, we see various screens flash on around Adelan as Maximus begins delivering a message. Citizens of Adelan, as you know, today outsiders attempted to attack our sacred city. And while we are fully aware of who the perpetrators are, the royal family stood by and did nothing to hold them accountable for their actions. But more importantly, I come bearing awful news. These humans have secretly stowed a dirty bomb in the deep mining shafts of the Adelan mines. What is a dirty bomb, you might ask? It is a bomb filled with a chemical compound that, when released, recreates diseases and germs common to Earth. Its detonation will fill Adelan with these germs and diseases, thus killing us and wiping out our entire civilization. Unfortunately, the diseases and germs will be unable to be cleared out thanks to the barrier protecting Adelan. The bomb is set to detonate in 30 minutes, but fear not. I figured out the code needed to override the bomb and save our civilization. But in return, I demand one thing: the throne. My brother, our current king, has promoted the system of involuntary servitude implemented by our ancestors. Those Inhumans with superior powers join the upper class, while those with powers deemed to be inadequate are sent to the Adelan mines every day to mine for Terrigen crystals. I am one of you and I should be in the mines, but I was lucky enough to have been spared by my parents. But no more. I will be king for the working people. I will stop the enslavement of those based on their attributes and will be a king for all. Unfortunately, per the rules of the Genetic Council, I am unable to ascend to the throne unless the current king and queen are killed. So hear me, my fellow Inhumans. If you can bring me the head of my brother, King Blackbolt, and Queen Medusa within this half hour, you will be saved from the dirty bomb. I will be waiting. Oh, and brother, if you kill me, you have no way to stop the bomb from detonating. So use your head and think it through. As the screens turn off, Crystal turns to Johnny. We have to go protect Blackbolt and my sister. The people will attempt to kill them. Crystal, I know how it feels to lose family, so I will fight alongside you to make sure that doesn't happen. Let's go. Cut back to Reed, Sue, Ben, and Medusa, who have managed to patch up Lockjaw. Reed turns to Medusa. So the Inhumans adopted the caste system? It is an admittedly out-of-date policy, which Blackbolt and I have communicated about. But now my life and the life of my husband are going to end, and they have to end in order to protect our people. No, not necessarily. Lockjaw, he can get us down to the mines, right? Yes, and I see what you're thinking, but how are you so sure you can stop the bomb? Trust me, I could deactivate much more complex technology than a simple bomb by the time I was 7. Unless this bomb uses alien technology, I can deactivate it in minutes. He isn't lying, Medusa. Reed is a genius. Medusa sighs but agrees as Reed lays out the plan. Lockjaw will take Ben and I to the bomb, and I'll work to deactivate it while Ben makes sure nobody attempts to stop me. We have no clue what plans Maximus could have in order to prevent someone from deactivating the bomb, especially if this is his only way to ascend to the throne. You and Sue will find Blackbolt and the others. Sue's force field will protect you all for the time being, and once the bomb is deactivated, we will regroup and help you all regain control of Adelan. The group all agree as we watch them place their hands on Lockjaw, who teleports them away. We cut inside the Doom ship as we see Dr. Doom approaching the moon. He speaks into a microphone on his control panel. I have suited all your armor with an energy repellent strong enough to enter through the protective barrier of Adelan. Cause as much chaos as you can, but do not attempt to enter the mine. That is Doom's. Now go, Doombots. Make Doom proud. We watch as suddenly thousands of Doombots begin getting released from the Doom ship and begin descending on Adelan as Doom lands the ship. We cut to Blackbolt, Karnak, Gorgon, Triton, Crystal, and Johnny being surrounded by Inhumans attempting to bring them to Maximus in the public square of Adelan. Triton scoffs. I can't believe I will be fighting the battle of my life with a depleted water circulation apparatus, but also alongside a human. Mind your tongue, Triton. At least Johnny's helping. Suddenly we watch as Lockjaw teleports next to the group with Medusa and Sue. Medusa embraces Crystal and Johnny embraces Sue, as Sue tells him how much she loves him. My queen, I'm glad you and Lockjaw are okay. But what are we going to do? We can't fight against our own people. It will be... Wait, What's that? Suddenly watches the Doombots begin landing and destroying parts of Adelan and begin attacking civilians. What the heck? What are these? It doesn't matter. I believe that as of right now, we are in not only the fight for our lives, but also the lives of all other Inhumans and Adelan itself. But where's Maximus? He has to still be in the communication chamber in the town hall. Well then, we have to get to the town hall and stop Maximus. Black Bolt, are you ready to fight? Can we get a green light on this plan? Black Bolt nods as we watch the group begin fighting against both rogue Inhumans and the Doombots. We see Black Bolt quickly annihilating any Doombot that comes in his path with mere punches and swipes, while Medusa uses her hair to impale Doombots and incapacitate the Inhuman combatants. We also see that Johnny and Crystal are fighting alongside each other, working in unison to neutralize the threat. Inside the mine, we see Reed vigorously working to disarm the bomb. He comments, Ben, I know you hate when I talk science, but this bomb is incredibly complex. The wires, the discharge chamber, the mechanics must have been constructed by some kind of genius. Don't even get me started on the chemical compound that must be inside this thing. Ben sighs as he walks away from the bomb. As Reed continues working, we suddenly watch as a hand grabs him from behind and punches him in the back. As Reed attempts to quickly fight back, he is stopped by the sight of Dr. Doom. He screams, Ben! Someone is working for Maximus and he's breached the mine! Where are you? Silence, Reed. Your friends won't help you this time. Wait, you know me? Yes, Reed. In fact, it could be argued that you created Doom. We watch as Reed stares to the eyes of Doom and gasps. Victor? Is that you? Yes, Reed, but Victor is dead. Only Doom remains. Whoa, what happened? Your face was scarred by the cosmic rays, but all this. What did you do? The cosmic rays scarred me, yes, but it endowed me with great strength. Combine that with my mind, and the name Victor no longer suits me. I have become Doom. I've spent years constructing this suit to fit my new power. Forged from titanium, blessed with the curse of the dark magic of the witches of Latveria. I am more powerful, durable, and capable of besting you than ever before, Reed. Victor, you didn't need to do this. I could have helped. I could have found a solution. And that is the issue. You think you are better than Doom? You think you've always been the superior being, ever since we met in college. But no, Reed. I don't need your help, and I never did. You scarred me, but I fixed me. I'm the one who constructed the dirty bomb. I told the Mad how to lure you all here. And look, you came. And now, it is my moment. You are going to fail, and Doom will force you to admit that I am the superior one. Let me go, Victor. I'm going to disarm this bomb, and then we can settle this in a civilized manner. I won't fight you. Your mistake! He watches Doom begins pummeling Reed, easily overpowering him. Reed screams as Doom shocks his body, causing him immense pain and suffering. We see Ben wandering the mine as he hears Reed scream and glares. He watches Reed lies beaten on the ground as Doom laughs. Admit it, Reed! You've lost! Doom wins! Doom is superior! Suddenly, we watch as a hand is placed on Doom's shoulder. How about you quit picking on my friend, pal? It's clobbering time! We watch as Thing throws Doom across the room as the two begin fighting. Thing is able to stand up to Doom, but as the battle goes on, Doom begins to gain the upper hand as the Thing begins to get worn down. As the two fight, Reed returns to deactivating the bomb. Back on the surface, we watch as Johnny and the others continue fighting the Doombots and the rogue Inhumans. As Sue uses her force field to destroy a Doombot, she looks to Medusa and says, Medusa, there's only 1 minute left before the bomb is supposed to detonate, and Reed hasn't returned yet. Something must be wrong. But there's too many to abandon the fight now. We can't stop. What are we going to do? Suddenly, we watch as Black Bolt launches into flight and begins flying down to the mines. We cut back to the battle between Doom and Ben, as we see Ben lying on the ground, beaten, with Doom panting. You You think a rock monster, an unlovable abomination, could beat Doom? Come on, Ben. I need 10 more seconds to disarm this thing. Please get up. I'm sorry, Stretch. I can't feel anything. As Doom begins walking towards Reed, we watch as Black Bolt quickly swoops in and begins fighting Doom. We watch as the antenna begins to glow on Black Bolt's head as he begins overpowering Doom. As the battle goes on, we see Reed working on the bomb. As we hear a ding, Reed screams, "The bomb's disarmed!" Black Bolt lands a final punch on Doom and flings him into the air and out of the mine. We watch as Doom manages to gain enough strength to hit a button on his armor, which activates the Doom ship. It flies to his location, and as he enters the cockpit, we hear him speak using a built-in PA system from the ship. "You fool, Reed Richards. You might think you can stop Doom, but I always come with a backup plan. I have constructed a missile containing the same diseases found inside that bomb, and unfortunately, you have no time to stop me. Doom wins." We watch as a missile is launched at Adelan. Reed and Ben watch as Black Bolt leaps into the air with incredible speed, flying toward the missile with his antenna growing brighter and brighter, when suddenly, Black Bolt opens his mouth and says, "Be gone!" as a massive hypersonic blast destroys the missile and the Doom ship. The ship is destroyed, and as the rubble falls to the ground, he watches Doom escapes in an escape pod that rockets him back to Earth. We slowly watch as the Doombots become deactivated around the city as the rogue Inhumans begin to run away from Medusa and the others. We watch as Maximus watches from a window from the city hall as suddenly the door to the room swings open as we see Black Bolt standing in the doorway. Maximus chuckles nervously.
Ferrero Rocher, get wrapped up in the moment.
If you do this, you've got brain rot. Doom scrolling as you wake up. Brain rot. To-do list grows by the day, but nothing...
We cut to a few hours later as we see the Fantastic Four standing outside the royal palace with the Inhuman royal family. So, King Black Bolt, that antenna of yours, it absorbs and channels electrons to increase your capabilities? That is absolutely incredible. A true scientific marvel. I'd love to study it. Okay, Stretch. I was patched up by some of the finest doctors in all of Adelan, but I didn't get healed so I could hear you start being a dork again. Say, Queen Medusa, are you sure Maximus is going to be okay locked up in a prison cell? Yes, Maximus and the other Inhumans who attempted to overthrow the royal family have been in prison and will serve no threat to the public anymore. But the message sent by Maximus was clear, and we will be working to improve Adelan. Some customs are outdated and need to be updated, and potentially, we need to be more welcoming to outsiders. I'm glad to hear that. As beautiful as Adelan is, though, I must admit, I'm excited to return to Earth. Speaking of, sis, I need to tell you something. I missed you. Reed, Ben, I missed you all too. Those 3 years were tough. I couldn't bear to return to the Baxter building without you guys. So I went to space with Nebula, and now that you guys have come back, I just want to spend time with you. I missed your scientific quips, Reed, and your jokes, Ben, and your overprotective attitude, sis. I know I was immature when you all left, but now I know there was one thing I should have said a lot more, and that is, I love you. And I just never want to feel the pain of losing you all again. Sue tears up as we watch the Fantastic Four embrace each other as Crystal turns to Medusa. Sister, you have been overprotective of me since I returned. It's like you need to be my protector. You don't. I'm strong, capable, and can do my own things. But just because I don't need you looking after me anymore doesn't mean that I don't love you. And I don't want to be with you. I do. And even if I go off on my own and find my own passions and do my own thing, I'll always find my way back to you. Medusa smiles and kisses Crystal on the forehead. I missed you so much. Like Johnny said, I just don't want to bear the thought of losing you again. Well, I want to ask, sister. I would like to return to Earth and be with Johnny. I like him very much, and I want to spend time getting to know him and getting to know humanity. What? Crystal, come on, I promise. I will come and visit. I'll have Lockjaw on call if I ever need to return home. And listen, sister, you have to trust me. I will come back. But this will allow me to learn more about humanity. If they are all as great as these four have been, then perhaps our ancestors were too quick to judge. But what about the disease and the pollution and the germs? You could die. Actually, I can easily fit a suit for Crystal. Using some unstable molecules and combining it with the mechanics of the clean air converter, Crystal could be shielded from anything that would cause her long-term health concerns. Please, sister. Please. Only the king can approve of an arrangement like this. Black Bolt? He watches Black Bolt use his hand signals to communicate to Medusa, who sighs and turns to Crystal. King Black Bolt is granting your request, on the condition that you study humanity and see if our ancestors truly misjudged them. He grants this as a sign of good faith towards our new friends, the Fantastic Four. But please, come visit me. Thank you, my king, and Medusa, I will be back. I love you, and I will never wander far. As the two hug, Thing sighs. Okay, not to kill the mood or anything, but I'm starving. So can we get a move on of this whole lovey-dovey stuff? I'm ready to go. The group laughs as Crystal summons Lockjaw, as we watch the Fantastic Four and Crystal place their hands on Lockjaw and wave farewell to the royal family, as Lockjaw teleports away in a flash of light. When the light clears, we cut inside Carmine's a few hours later as we see Johnny sitting next to Crystal and Sue. We see the Fantastic Four enjoying dinner with Crystal and Alicia as the group laughs and catches up with each other. This Is the Day begins to play once again as the camera captures Johnny smiling as the movie ends. We have two post-credit scenes. In the first post-credit scene, we watch as Johnny is sitting in his room reading a newspaper. We see an article on the front of the newspaper showing an ad for Drew Laboratories, when suddenly Crystal walks into the room and says, "Johnny, refinish my suit. What do you think?" Johnny looks up as we see Crystal wearing her very own Fantastic Four outfit. Johnny smiles and walks to Crystal and says, "I've never seen that suit look as good as it does on you. Welcome to the team, babe." Crystal smiles as the two kiss. In the second post-credit scene, we cut inside of an interrogation room where we see New York District Attorney Blake Tower, played by Stephen Ritter, who says, "Well, Mr. Fisk, I greatly appreciate you finally coming forward to talk with me about Dr. Drew's involvement with the Oscorp incident." The man sitting across the table is revealed to be Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, who says, "Well, Mr. Tower, I am a man who has an appreciation for justice, and it pains me deeply when a pathetic man like Drew is free while I rot. So the truth is that Drew paid me to keep an incident out of the papers for him. When he lacked the funds to continue paying, I told him he would repay his debt by working alongside Octavius to ensure that he completed the clean air converter on time for fear." Okay, I mean, this is nothing out of the ordinary. Why hold this for so long? I mean, what information could you have possibly kept hidden? "If I told you, Mr. Tower, you would not believe me." "Try me." "Dr. Drew became obsessed with the idea of creating a being capable of having the power to stop a symbiote. So he created a formula filled with radiation and toxins. He tested it on a human being, and it caused them so much pain, they stayed in a state of stasis, forced to be away from humanity. That is what I hid for him, Mr. Tower." Who was it? Who was this person he experimented on? "His daughter, Jessica." And that is Fantastic Four: Arrival of the Inhumans.
So that's it, you guys. Fantastic Four Alive and the Humans. Yeah, I love CGC and about Human Torch and Crystal together. But I do love Mary Bobby Blair, but she would be who had a chest, yes. So anyway, so if you enjoy the video, mention and thumb up, and you don't forget get 100k subscribers. So everyone get 100k subscribers. So yeah, so tomorrow will be part 3. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow's. So I'll see you tomorrow, eh? Bye.